The mental and emotional struggle of self-image is a prevalent problem around the world. According to Grand Rapids Counseling Services, 85% of the world's population is affected by low self-esteem. Self-esteem is often referred to as self-worth and self-respect. When individuals suffer from low self-esteem, it can be difficult for them to assign self-worth and value with confidence to their life. For Rubin Rodriguez, he went from a high-income employee, yet he was struggling mentally and physically, to building a multi-million-dollar business out of a storage shed, which he grew to over $1 million in just 6 months. Rodriguez is a seasoned professional who is accustomed to bootstrapping businesses, ideas, mindset hacks, and elite-level fitness transformations. There has been one common denominator throughout Rodriguez's journey: self-improvement, which has helped to bring hope to the hopeless and inspire them to reach for the fullest heights of their untapped potential. Rodriguez himself turned to fitness and weight training specifically to turn his life around, and now he helps others to unlock their mind, help you discover nutritional habits which will allow you to win when you step into your kitchen, and on the scale to conquer the fitness desires which you crave. Rodriguez joined me this week to talk about his story of perseverance, his commitment to fitness, and how his overall quality of life has improved since adopting this new lease on a healthier life. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. If you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program, my friend, and I'm super excited to learn all about your journey in fitness, my friend. Great to see you this afternoon, and thank you for giving me a portion of your weekend. It's most appreciated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Now, Rubin, I know you've got quite the interesting journey with health, wellness, and fitness, my friend. So I'm wondering if you can sort of give me a 360-degree view of who you are and what makes you so fabulous, my friend.
Yeah, man. So, I'm in my 30s now, but, my family comes from Puerto Rico and Louisiana, and I grew up in New York and Puerto Rico as a kid on Section 8 and government assistance, in the hood pretty much. And, moved up through life, went to college, did everything that they told me to do. They said, hey, go to school, go to college. I did that. Got into oil and gas at a young age, put myself through college, and I climbed what I thought was a mountain, but was actually a hill. You know what I mean? Found myself in my 20s, making $200,000 a year in oil and gas, and had a family already, a house, chased that American dream. And I conquered everything at a young age. And I was like, man, but I had let my health go. My mindset was shit. And I was in a rough spot. And that's when I started exploring entrepreneurship, fitness, and and I looked much more older in my 20s than I do now in my 30s. It's interesting. If you get on my Instagram and some of my content, you'll see that. But yeah, I got into entrepreneurship, started doing masterminds and self development, investing in myself, and got around the right people. Tried a bunch of businesses, got into real estate, all kinds of things, a little bit of MLM, insurance, and a few things, and then that led me to my trailer business that I got into. That was the first $1 million I ever made, and it was exciting. We went from I started that business out of an RV storage, and from there, in less than 6 months, 7 months, we did over $1.2 million in revenue. We opened a shop, two locations in Houston, a shop in another country, over 15 employees, and it's been a roller coaster ride. So
You can see that, my friend. And tell me, Ruben, based on your upbringing and sort of your life lessons, tell me how you view the concept of perseverance and overcoming adversity.
so much adversity. Yeah, it hasn't been easy. I mean, I have a lot of family members that got into gangs and got into a rough life. Thankfully, when I was young in New York, they moved us back to Puerto Rico, and I got to grow up over there, kind of like in a rural area, and it kept me away from certain things in an environment, a tough environment. I lost a lot of family members along the way, that stood in New York, um, from violence, gang violence or alcohol, right? And that's something that I had to overcome as well, which is something that I overcame. Alcohol, I've been sober for about a year already, and it's not easy, but I wanted it bad enough, and I just took risk.
Yeah, and now, my friend, you help people sort of unlock their mindset to sort of conquer, fitness desires, my friend. So tell me about helping people unlock their true fitness potential and the satisfaction you get from the work that you do now.
Yeah, so what I think when it comes to business or fitness, your body and your physique changes. You lose weight, your abs, you can see them now. All those are byproducts of your mind. To me, that's how I look at it. And I learned this in business because I realized that not, people that don't quit, people that endure tough situations, and we see it across, in different industries and with some of the most famous people online, some of the most successful people have endured the toughest situations, and it all comes down to mindset. So most people quit the gym because their mind isn't strong enough. A lot of people don't earn the income that they should at their job or in their business because their mind isn't strong enough. It all goes back to that mindset. So typically, like for me, alcoholism, other businesses that I had that were successful that I quit too soon, it all tied to mindset. A lot of times we have something wrong with us in our mind. We have limiting beliefs that were, planted in us when we were a kid. Like you mentioned earlier, our environment that we come from, you know, we were poor, man. I mean, we were broke, like I didn't know what it was to like, go shopping at a supermarket without, using food stamps, real food stamps. People, we call them food stamps now, but they were real food stamps, and not having food at the house as a kid, going to summer school just to eat, not because I needed the schooling. So those things, when you grow up in that environment or you grew up lacking like that, one of two things can happen to you. You can believe, hey, you know what, there's a better way and I'm going to push in life. Or, hey, you know what, I'm different. I'm from this social class. And the people that have or that live better, they're different. But in reality, we're all the same, man. We're all the same. We're all made out of flesh and bones, and we're capable of achieving the same level of success. But it all starts in the mind. So I think that a lot more people can be successful in the gym and in all their endeavors if they focus more on their mindset. So now I enjoy, talking a lot about that, about mindset, our daily habits, what we do every day, you know, and my program focuses on that. It focuses on, what you do every single day as an individual. Because as an employee, you work Monday through Friday and you're on the payroll. As soon as you leave, you don't make money no more. Nor on the weekend, you don't make money no more. So technically, I could say, like, on a Saturday, if you're not on the clock, you're unemployed, right? So I push that on people. I'm like, look, if you brush your teeth and you shower every day, you should work out or do some type of physical activity every single day if you really do want to make it part of who you are. Just like a business, McDonald's is open 24/7, 365 days a year. They make money around the clock because they're a business. As soon as you stop doing something on the daily basis, you stop being that thing that you're doing. And that's pretty much what my program, the core of it is. You have to become on the daily what it is that you want to become. Because if not, you're not going to make it.
Absolutely. And Ruben, as I shared with you before, buddy, I was born with cerebral palsy. And, one of the mottos that I live my life by is that I have the limited time for making excuses in life, my friend. So, really about how people can sort of make fitness a priority in their life and really taking ownership of their fitness journey, because it is it's a priority and a choice, isn't it?
Yeah, it comes down to, it's a choice. Like, that's why I say every single day you wake up, and we celebrate our birthdays once a year. Technically, every single day is an opportunity and is a birthday for you to live the life exactly how you want. So we don't pursue. Let's talk about fitness. We don't pursue fitness, or we don't go to the gym because we're getting dopamine from social media. We're eating junk food, right? We're taking vices. We're choosing the shortcuts to fulfill the needs that we have. But what is the outcome of those things, right? We're using drugs. We're using alcohol. We're watching pornography. We're doing all these things that take the drive and the fire and the warrior out of the man. So it comes down to those things, right? We need to cut out certain things. So, junk food, alcohol. You start cutting that stuff out and limiting those things, automatically you're going to have more of a drive now to do more, to go to the gym, to exercise, because your body, your brain is not getting those chemical releases anymore. So it's going to try to find them somewhere else. The right way, right? The way that builds you, the way that doesn't destroy you. But it takes a conscious effort. You have to want it. You have to want it. Unfortunately, people wait until they have diabetes or they're facing, serious health problems. And then they want to go, and do these things. But if you're conscious enough, if you're not making enough money, right, and you realize, hey, you understand economics, you're going to start making moves in the right direction, whether it comes to business or it comes to fitness. And that's kind of where I found myself at a young age. I'm like, man, I'm sacrificing all my time and I'm giving up my health. And though I'm living good in the brighter in the picture, I'm not really doing enough. It was a hill that I was on, not a mountain, right? So when it comes to fitness, it comes to that. We have to watch what we do on a daily basis. So we need to get that drive back. Like when we're a kid, we feel like doing everything. We feel like riding a bike, right? When I was a kid, there was no iPads. We didn't have access to a lot of the content and the things that we have access to these days. And so I was able to go do a lot, right, as a child. But the way things are right now, we watch people swim on the beach. We watch beautiful women on the internet, yet we don't speak to them in person, right? We watch other people talk to a woman, but we won't walk up to a woman and say hi. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Or we watch people work out, right? That's a form of we watch people work out and lift weights, and we get this relief, but it's not reality. Reality is, what are you doing on the daily that's putting you in the position you want to be in? So yeah, you gotta look at your life. You gotta look at your habits. Keep a to-do list. I have a to-do list on my phone. I've had it for years. I used to have paper to-do lists when I was younger, and I used to lose them sometimes. And if anybody found those things, they'd probably be like, man, this guy's a psycho, because I would have everything for the day, for the week, for 6 months, a year, 5 years. I had all kinds of shit on there. But that's the way you got to look at it. We got to look at what we're doing every single minute.
Tell you, Ruben, there's magic to getting outside and getting exercise, isn't there?
It's magical, man. We always say the cure's in the pump. I say that a lot, and I got that from somebody else. The cure's in the pump. It's incredible how getting physical, whether it's cardio, lifting weights, that when you achieve something, you elevate. Your whole mood changes. You almost vibrate at another level. That dark day, the day might have looked dark for you. It might have looked like, man, today sucks, or whatever it is, or whatever stress you're going through. Instead of eating the ice cream or drinking the alcohol, man, go do some push-ups. You know what I mean? Go to the gym, go jogging, do whatever you can, do whatever physical activity you can, and watch how your mindset changes. And I believe that, like, if you want to be successful at anything, you have to have some type of level of fitness. Like, you have to, like, be able to do some kind of exercise your body, because you won't be able to keep up. And that could be walking, that could be just doing something. You have to do something physical, because if not, you're not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, I always say that, one of the tenets that I live my life by is that movement is medicine, isn't it?
Yeah, it's freaking awesome, man. It's, to me, like, it's such a habit for me that I can get 2 hours of sleep or an hour of sleep. I'm doing something that day. I'm working out that day, regardless. Even if it's 50 push-ups, or, like, I'm going to the sauna, for instance. I'm doing something, because it's part of who I am. And I understand that the day that I stop is a day that I can't call myself a fitness person, right? It's holding true to yourself.
Yeah, I was just going to say the magic behind that, my friend. People don't realize if they're active and they exercise, it helps with their sleep and overall quality of life, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. What I do is I work out in the mornings now. I used to work out in the evenings, but I stopped because I was having like a second wind, and then I was, for me, in my situation, I was like not able to sleep. But since I work out in the mornings now, I have way more energy throughout the day, and when it comes the evening, man, I'm ready to crash. I'm ready to go to sleep. So it helps with that too, because I used to have this little bit of insomnia as well.
Yeah, it touches every aspect of our quality of life for sure. And Ruben, I also wanted to talk to you about the idea of inclusion, the concept of inclusion. Ruben, I'm going to share a quick story with you, buddy. So at 9 years old, my friend, I was told by the doctor who performed all of my surgeries for my disability that I wouldn't be able to walk without assistance for the duration of my life. But without assistance, I wouldn't be able to walk without the assistance of a walker for the duration of my life. But I've fought my entire life, and I've dedicated myself to the saying that inclusion is the gateway to independence, my friend. And I work with people and businesses to elevate their need for inclusion in the workforce and beyond. So tell me about your definition of inclusion and how you think people should look at that as well.
Yeah, well, like that story you just told me, man, that's powerful. I look at it like this. We have to, and something I was thinking about what you said with the story. We need to expose ourselves to the possibilities, right? I heard this the other day, and it was from Wes Watson. He said, too many people do what they can do, and they should do what they can't do. So like that doctor, he just said that, you wouldn't be able to, walk or without assistance and things like that. You've been able to overcome a lot of that. That could be being around the right people, man. Being around the right people. You don't want to be the big fish in the pond. You want to be the small fish. And when many situations that we face, Um, we got to get uncomfortable. So to me, it's about getting uncomfortable. I always say that like doctors and scientists, they should work a lot more with psychologists and people that deal with mindset, because just like you faced that obstacle, you were young. You said 9 years old, right?
9, yep.
9 years old, right? So I mean, at a subconscious level, they're already planning into your mind that, hey, this is how it's gonna be for you. There is no other option, but you were still able to overcome that, right? Like that. It's interesting because that it applies to a lot of people are molded throughout their youth. When they, let's say, they were born with a disability, they were born in a certain social class, or from a family that has a certain type of genetics, that don't focus on fitness and health, and they're almost molded in a way that they're expected that, hey, this is how you're gonna live, this is how you're gonna be, and that's not always gonna be the case. But so to me, it's about exposure and not being the big fish in the pond, getting uncomfortable. We got to do what we can't do, not what
Yeah,
we can
absolutely.
do.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. It's all about priorities and perspective, isn't it? Like I was telling you before, it's about stacking our deck of cards in our favor, isn't it?
It is, man. I mean, look, like I'm not 6 foot. I can't expect to be 6'8", right? I'm not gonna expect to grow, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't, like you're saying, man, play the cards you were dealt. Don't take no, or don't take what you've been given for the levels that you can reach, right? So like me, um, I reached a certain point in my life where I was making pretty good money in the corporate world. I could have just stood there. You know what I mean? It was more than what my father and his father had achieved, and whatnot. So I always kind of had that in me to like push a little bit more and question. I've always been the type to question. Um, but if I would have played the cards I was dealt, I'd be in Puerto Rico at a bar hanging out every day drinking, or I'd be in New York somewhere. I mean, I wouldn't be doing shit with my life because I haven't had the greatest examples around me. Until I started getting around the right people and people that were doing better than me, then I began to, you know, expand my mind and seek guidance.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ruben, you brought this up earlier, but I wanted to give you the larger platform to talk about confidence and building good habits, my friend. How do you think building confidence and integrating good habits are interconnected? Because I know it played a big part in your life as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, the only way you're gonna build like some people they're more confident, right? Genetically, with the way we're born or the way we were raised, some are more confident than other people. They come from confident parents, whatever. The way I look at it is like this: confidence is built through achievements. It's built through achievements. You have to conquer. You have to set goals and achieve them. Okay, but you can't achieve them and not have new goals. So you got to set high goals. Um, I mean, when it comes to fitness, that could be losing weight, losing 5 pounds, 20 pounds, lifting a certain amount of weight, exposing your abs, saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym every single day for 30 days. When you do that, there's people that have never went to the gym for 2 weeks straight without missing. You automatically, by default, through achievements, will build your confidence. And as your body changes, you become more confident. And when it comes to, like, let's say finances, I remember I was making like, you know, I remember when I first made $1,000 a week years ago. It was such a big deal. I became more confident, right? In business, cash flow. I used to sell one trailer a month and then two trailers a month. And I would set these goals: 4 trailers, 5 trailers a month, 8 trailers a month. When I started doing these things, I became more confident by default. So to me, your daily habits, they add up. You're stacking wins on the daily. Okay. That's going to give you achievements, and those achievements build your confidence in the gym, outside the gym, and business and everything you do. That's the way I look at it. That's why I focus so much on the daily habits, because people are thinking in 5 years or 10 years. And all that matters, and I say it all the time, the future doesn't exist. The past doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is today. You have to make the best move on the board right now. Like you said, play the cards that you were dealt, but do it every single day. And what's going to happen is almost like magic. You start looking in the mirror. When it comes to fitness, you start looking in the mirror, you start looking at your arms. You're like, whoa, what's going on? Something's changing. You start looking at your income, your environment around you, the people around you, the places you're able to travel to now, the way you speak, everything changes, but you have to do it daily. You have to make those choices every single day. And you become more confident. That's why if you build yourself up and you become confident and you achieve, like almost like a video game, you achieve these levels of success in different areas of your life. If you ever lose and you lose it all, it doesn't take you much to get back to where you were at. Why? Because now you're confident. You've been there. You know the ropes already.
Consistent, right? There's value to being consistent, isn't there?
You have to, man. And that's one of my things that I've struggled with. I've relied on talent for many years of my life. Talent. Talent will only get you so far. The consistent man that does what he, knows what he wants and he does it every single day, he's going to outdo someone with talent.
Yeah, absolutely. And with your own life, Ruben, I'm curious to find out, how do you gauge uh, uh, sort of progress towards ultimate greatness in your own life? So, how do you gauge a progress to achieving greatness in your own life, my friend?
The way I gauge it, like, look, for instance, everybody knows who Warren Buffett is. I wouldn't trade places with the man. And I've heard many people say that. And the reason is this. To me, for me, the definition of success isn't just about being jacked or in shape and being in the best shape or attractive physically. It isn't also just having all the finances and all the wealth in the world neither. Or not having the type of lifestyle that you want. You're miserable, your environment, your family, you don't have a family or whatever it is, you don't have friends. You don't have any kind of social environment. To me, success is amplifying every area of your life. You can't be in great shape. You can't be in great shape, have a family and all these things, but not have the finances. Because how are you going to facilitate the memories with your family or help other people? Because in the end, I mean, it takes some kind of money, right? The world, everything's running around on money. But then again, I can't let my health go and just make all the money possible, be as wealthy as I can, but let my health go. Be obese, start having health issues, because where's that going to get me? So the way I measure it and I gauge it is, how am I doing in these individual buckets? Am I improving? And to be honest with you, I'm never going to stop. Okay. So I don't, I changed I used to always say, oh, one day I'm going to retire on the beach. One day I'm going to get there to this position or this level of my life. But, self-development, it never ends.
Ruben, I always say the day that we stop learning and growing is the day that we die, right? Because no matter how many degrees you have or how smart you think you are, you can always be learning from or about something, right?
I agree with that. Me and you think alike on a lot of things. The minute you stop growing as an individual, I mean, look, our first contract in life, before we even know what we're doing, is with death. It's inevitable. Everyone's going to face it. We're all headed to the same place. But we like stagnant water is not good, right? Water's made to flow like a river. I look at it like that's how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to grow, man. We're always supposed to be pushing. And the day that you stop doing that, and that's where I found myself in my 20s when I was working in the corporate world, I found myself just stagnant. And I started picking up vices because I wasn't growing. So I believe that as soon as you stop growing as an individual in your health, in your family, relationship, your finances, your goals, anything that you're doing, you accelerate death. You begin to die.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ruben, I'm going to combine my next two questions, my friend, because they're interconnected. So I'm curious to ask you how you want to sort of impact the world in the next 5 years, and why is it important for you to get up every morning with enthusiasm to attack the day with happy, happiness and joy, my friend? So tell me, how do you want to improve the world within the next 5 years? And why is it important to you to maximize the potential of your own life?
Yeah, so I believe that like to change the world, you have to be the example, right? You have to be the example of how you want to change it. Um, I believe that there's an epidemic going on, and there's a disease that covers all cultures, all people, all ages, all races, people from all backgrounds, and what that is wasted life, wasted potential. I get an extreme amount of fulfillment from helping individuals wake up in a sense. So many people are depressed and suffering. If they're not struggling financially, they're struggling with their health. And if they're not struggling with one of those, they're struggling mentally. So in the next 5 years, man, I just see myself, being the example. I believe that, if you wake up every day and you push and you live by example, it rubs off on a lot of people. You work out, let's say you're a person that don't work out and you start hanging around with guys that work out a lot. Man, by default, you start dealing and focusing more on your health. Same thing with finances. But in the next 5 years, man, I want to wake a lot of people up. I meet people every single day that have such great potential. Um, and it's wasted life, So pretty much that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking just to elevate my life and help other people elevate theirs, because we got to leave the planet a better place.
Yeah, it's right. I always say it's better to lead by example than to follow a leader, right?
Yeah, I mean, we need more leaders. We need more people that are pushing the limits. We're not robots. We're human beings, and the good times have created weak men. The good times have created weak men, a weak people. Like, we're not pushing, we're not questioning, we're not aiming very high in life anymore, and things are becoming just redundant. And to me, that's the true loss. That's the true pandemic that we're facing. It's almost like a disease, and that's why people that come from sometimes from other countries, they come to the United States, and they come from poverty, extreme poverty, they end up being extremely successful, uh, right? Because those tough times created tough men. But let's just say in this country now that we live in, unfortunately, it's not always the case. The good times have created weak men, and we don't even have goals. We don't know where we're going. We're living life without a plan. And to me, we got to push, man.
Absolutely. And just building on that for a second, I'm also curious to ask you, Ruben, one of the reasons I wanted to start this podcast was I looked at the world and I said there were so many societal divisions as you were just talking about. And, I wanted to create more bridges of what I call unity. Because I think there's a lot more that we have in common that we want to give ourselves credit for. But it seems like today we're so quick to become territorial, and if we don't agree with a certain opinion or set of facts, it's hard for us to compromise on that. So when you look at the world from a societal perspective, I'm curious, what frustrates you the most, and what do you think needs to be done to bring us closer together as a society?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. We do have. I've been fortunate enough to travel a little bit, and we do have a lot more in common. A lot more in common than we don't have in common. Um, it's frustrating because, look, everybody wants the same thing. We want to have a place to live, right? We want to feel important. We want to be able to have a family. We want to be able to travel. We want to be able to live in peace, right? I mean, it's universal. We want to be able to provide for our loved ones and friends. And that's everywhere I've gone. That's what people want. But at the higher level, there seems to be a lot of conflict and division, like you're saying, whether it becomes whether it's about race or culture or languages or religion or things like that. It's frustrating. I couldn't agree more with you. The solution is communication. You know, we need to be a people that you need to be able to look at the left and the right. You know, things aren't as clean cut. And I think that if you're able to do that, if you're able to consider the opinion and that of other people and come to your own conclusion on things and your own opinion, we'll be way better off, you know. But when it comes to the media and the news and things like that, what gets the most clicks is the conflict, you know. What gets the most views is the division. And, you know, it's unfortunate. But I think a lot of people are waking up, you know. A lot of people are waking up to that, hey, you know, we need to work together more. And we do have a lot more in common. I mean, we're all human, man.
That's certainly true. And I'm curious to also ask you, in life, I believe that we all have what I call our non negotiables, the happiness, the things that we're unwilling to compromise on when it comes to our happiness. So tell me, when it comes to you, what are your non negotiables to your own personal happiness, my friend?
To me, man, it's my mental state. It's my mental state. I mean, we look. It's unfortunate. There's a lot of men out there that have given up on themselves in the name of responsibilities. You know what I mean. So, like, to me, my non-negotiable is my mental state. I'd rather die than to not be able to push in life, not have the opportunity to conquer something new or work on myself. So a lot of my non-negotiable is that is it's just, hey, I have to be able to be in a position to wake up every single day. And it might sound selfish to some people, but how am I going to make my loved ones happy or my friends happy or this planet a better place if I'm not happy? I'm not always happy. And some people will say, well, life's not about being happy. You're a man. You got to be, you know, and that's not what I mean. I don't mean just feeling good because I don't feel good most of the time. But I go to the gym and I do certain things to feel good. But I'm pursuing, I'm conquering, I'm chasing something, I'm improving. So as a non-negotiable, I mean, I'm never going to work a dead-end job for the rest of my life, and not, to me, it's all transitional. Not have the opportunity to elevate.
So only to that point, I'm fascinated to follow up and ask you, what do you think it means to level up in life? Because, I think a lot of people, once they find a comfort zone in life, they want to stay
They
there.
settle.
So what do you think it means to level up in life?
To me, I mean, look, you have to, like, for instance, I'm in good shape, okay? But even when I wasn't in good shape and I was improving myself and I made small steps, I used to have people tell me, why was I working out? Like, you already look fine in comparison to them, or you're already healthy. Why keep pushing? And to me, leveling up is you have to keep the wolf in the man. You don't ever want to be full. So what people that are watching, that means something different to different people. Some people, it could be a job. They're making $120,000 a year at their career, but they've been making that for the last 5 years. What else can you do to improve? What else can you do? Can you get a promotion at your job? Because I don't bash jobs either. We're all different. But what can you do to improve? Because, see, if a company makes more money, everyone there at that company is going to make more money when we're talking about jobs. So we have a lot of people that are silent quitters. They come in every day, they go through the routine, they collect their paycheck. They don't want to do anything more for themselves or even for their employer. And so that's not sustainable in today's world, not long term. So if you care for yourself and the future, in your future, you would try a little bit more. So it's not just about fitness and your health because, hey, some people, they're cost driven. I'm not going to work out. I'm not going to go to the gym. It's too expensive. I'm not going to eat better food because it costs more. Well, I'll see you in 10 or 20 years to see how that's going to work out for you because medical bills cost a lot more. You see what I'm saying? Or the silent quitters. You're going to go into work every day. You're going to do just enough and not help the company be productive. How long do you think the company's going to operate like that before you're getting a layoff because they're not profitable anymore? Right? So to me, elevating in life is, hey, it's what can I improve? Who wants to build a house and never finish? We pour foundations, we build walls. Let's build the house all the way. And that's kind of how I look at it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes back to the beginning sort of nucleus of our conversation. It all goes back to priorities, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Because it doesn't matter if you don't have to go to the gym every single day. You don't have to eat healthy. But there's no light without there's no no darkness without light, right? So like it goes both ways. So you cannot eat right and you cannot do any kind of physical work, you're gonna pay for it. You understand? You cannot level up in life. You cannot try hard at your job or try to make more money. Inflation will get you. Okay? We're living through a changing world with technology. Like it will get you. You will pay. For making those choices. So to me, leveling up is staying ahead of the herd, staying ahead of the game, and playing offense, not playing defense. We play defense way too much. We need to play more offense.
Absolutely. And Ruben, I'm curious to end with this two-part question, my friend. I'm curious to know, how do you think we can get more people excited about fitness? When you look at your own life and legacy, my friend, how do you want that to be defined?
I think we can get more people into fitness by finding out what's important to them. Some people, what's important to them is to look better. And if that's the case, you should, be fit, get in shape. Some people it's financially. Some people are only driven by numbers, right? So if you don't want to spend a lot of money on your medical bills one day and suffer, or you want to limit the suffering, you should focus on that. Some people want to be here around, they want to be here for a long time to be able to enjoy the fruits of their labor with their family. Well, they should probably work out. I forgot the stat, but I know that I forgot it was like, there's some good numbers. Look up the studies when it comes to physical fitness and on daily and how long it increases your life expectancy, right? So you got to find out what, because it applies to any part of your life. Whatever's important to you, I guarantee you can tie it to fitness. You want to make more money? Start working out. You want to start a business? Start working out. Your girl just left you. Your wife just left you. You're struggling. I tell them, go to the gym. Some people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, go to the gym. Because what happens is they start building their mind, and the solution is there. The cure is in the pump. It's not that it's actually in the pump, but that this starts operating a lot more better. And then they find a solution. When it comes to my legacy, man, I wish I would have started documenting a lot of things. Now, I shoot videos on YouTube all the time and on Instagram. And I think that it's a great opportunity that we have to be able to, like I said, we're all going to be gone one day. But isn't it a beautiful thing that we can record these videos and they will live potentially forever? I wish I could, get on a YouTube channel and look up content from someone in my family lineage that lived over 100 years ago, and see what they had to say. So when it comes to legacy, I just want to leave this world a better place. The more people hear it, the message, and the more people come across my content, or my future descendants can look this stuff up, I can help them on their journey. So it's leave the world a better place. Wake up as many people as possible, and spark that. They have that spark in them. They just need a little bit of, something, and then they can go on their journey and conquer.
Absolutely, my friend. And tell me finally, if people want to get connected with the good work that you do, my friend, what's the best way they can do that?
Yeah, check out my Instagram. I got all my links on there. My Instagram is Rubin RUB, as in boy IN Isaac Rubin Isaac underscore. You'll be able to find me on there. I'm on there a lot, and I have all my links on there for YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. You know, I post pretty consistently across all platforms now. And reach out to me, send me a DM, whatever.
Well, yeah, my friend, I'm super grateful for the time that you've carved out for me today. I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation about fitness lifestyle and everything in between, my friend. Your work in the space of fitness and entrepreneurship is certainly most appreciated, my friend. I want to wish you the rest of your weekend and thank you for being here this afternoon. It's most appreciated.
Hey man, it was great connecting with you, and I appreciate you giving me time as well. And look forward to we'll do it again in the future, man. You never know.